we decided that the 12th uh-huh, of December that I was going to drive out to Atwater to collect Alyce-Kay and bring her back to Still Pond so that we could begin to share our lives together. Not that we hadn't been sharing our lives together prior to that, but
we were spending all of our time together.
Right. So anyway, so I left here on the about 10 o'clock on the 12th.
On the 10th.
10th, I'm sorry. And
he had flown my best friend Kathleen up to Atwater to help me pack, which was really neat because she lived in Sweetwater and I hadn't seen her for a couple years, a few years.
Yeah.
5 years, 5 or 6 years. So that was really neat to be able to have her there for a week.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a 2-day drive, two and a half really day drive. I got there at about noon, I think,
on the 12th.
On the 12th, something like that. And I had called Alyce-Kay when I was getting close to Atwater, and she came out to meet me.
I came out about 3 blocks to meet him.
Right. Yeah.
I was on the phone and he was on the phone. We're talking until we could see each other.
Yeah. So anyway, it was very cool.
Yeah.
And we got to her house, and I had my pickup truck, and the idea was that we were going to load up her car and my pickup, and we were going to haul whatever stuff, back to Still Pond.
And I got rid of most of what I had, which was all stuff I had acquired while I was in Minnesota, because when I had moved up there, the kids and I had only brought 2 carloads of stuff, and that included my computer system both times and all of our animals, 4 cats and 2 dogs. So we didn't really bring very much up with us. So this was all stuff I'd acquired in 5 years. Still ended up being a lot.
And Kathleen, Alyce-Kay's friend, Kathleen Euler, was there to help. And then Kitty, Kat, was there.
My daughter.
Alyce-Kay's daughter was also there to help.
And Sam had come out a couple times over the weeks to help me pack stuff up and figure out what things she could take to give to people who could use them and could need them and stuff. And yeah, so we loaded up the truck.
We loaded up the truck. We loaded up Alyce-Kay's car. And then I guess it was maybe about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You left to
I needed to leave to take Kathleen out to the cities, the Twin Cities, to the airport.
To the airport.
And so Bill stayed to finish up around the house and everything. And then he was supposed to meet a friend and me, Anne, for lunch in the Twin Cities at a Mexican restaurant. And he didn't show up and didn't show up. And I tried calling him and no answer. And so I was starting to get worried that either something had happened to him or that he had decided he didn't want me anymore after seeing all my junk. And so what had happened to you?
I had left my wallet, my phone, my cell phone, and my keys on the dining room table and closed the door, which locked.
And being a Sunday morning, my landlord and landlady who lived across the street were at church. Right. And of course he had no way to get a hold of them.
So eventually I got to Paul. I went to another neighbor of Alyce-Kay's and found out where they lived, because I didn't really know where they lived. And so eventually I got to Paul, who was the landlord. And we got a key, and so that I could get back in. But I mean, I was there for like 2 hours. And so finally, when I left...
And you called me then, you had your phone.
Yeah, I had my phone, I called Alyce-Kay. And
so Ann and I just kept talking. We were having a good time talking together and stuff and waiting for him.
And and I don't know, it was maybe like 3 o'clock by the time I left.
Yeah, I think so. By
Atwater.
the time you left
Yeah,
Atwater.
Atwater.
And Kat had gone out to Spicer about 20 minutes away to church, and she texted me and she said, "Oh, I just saw Bill. He's in front of me or something, or behind me or something." And so, anyway, so by the time that he got to the Twin Cities, I think you weren't able to find your way to the restaurant or something. So he ended up going through, and he said, "Just meet me over in Hudson, across the St. Croix River in Wisconsin." And so
There's a rest stop.
yeah. So we
There's
went ahead and
the first rest stop that you come to after you leave Minnesota is in Menominee, and and by the time I got there, I don't know, it was 4:30.
yeah, it was 4:30.
Yeah.
It was dusk.
It was
twilight.
It was pretty dark.
Almost dark.
It was
yeah.
almost dark because this is
December.
December.
And up in way north.
So anyway, I got there and pulled in, and I parked and whatnot, and waited for Alyce-Kay, and we were talking on the phone, so I knew where she was, and she was behind me, not far, and so pretty soon she pulled in, and I related to her in gory detail all of the stuff that I'd been through with locking the door and losing the keys and the wallet and the phone and yada 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 yada. And so anyway, and so we're in Menominee, and that was where we said
Our very first vow.
our very first vow.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of our marrying each other, which was kind of a long process, and we'll tell more about that in the next video.